Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, on behalf of all the Heineken 2016 laureates, it is my signal honor to propose a vote of thanks to the Heineken Foundation and the Royal Netherlands Academy of the Arts and Sciences for this year's awards. I speak for all of us whom you have honored with these most generous prizes in expressing our delight at your recognition of our fields of study, those areas of the sciences and humanities in which we have chosen to spend a lifetime of research, and our awe at the seriousness and diligence that went into your decision-making. We want to thank the juries and their spokesmen who gave so much time and energy to the process. At a reception of the prize winners 2 nights ago, your president, José van Dijk, described the role of the Academy for over 200 years as the center of the Enlightenment in Holland, which has constantly maintained its values of rigor, openness, and universality. This evening, the historic city of Aleppo, with its ancient citadel and souk, is being destroyed. Forces of fundamentalism, division, and hatred threaten a growing influence in today's world. In the face of this, we, the senior prize winners, especially wish to salute the Academy and the Foundation for combining our lifetime awards with those to the young laureates. For by extending recognition to those who are showing exceptional promise with their early work, you are sending a statement to the world that the values of the Academy will live on among the next generation in the face of narrowness and closure. By rewarding the young, as well as us, the not so young, you are celebrating the future of Enlightenment values for all humanity. We have all benefited from the collaborative aspects of research with colleagues from different continents and of all different ages. For your support of such cooperation across the generations, we also wish to thank you. Perhaps I can add a personal note at the sense of shame that my own country, the UK, may have contributed recently to the creation of barriers between us. I only wish that your wonderful award included honorary Dutch citizenship. I and my family would so much like to remain part of the European Union, where we feel we belong. That aside, please join me in expressing our enormous appreciation of the Heineken Foundation and the Royal Netherlands Academy for your ongoing commitment to universal values. Thank you.
On behalf of all 11 laureates.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just the old-fashioned way. Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, members of the board of the Dr. HP Heineken and Alfred Heineken Fondsen Foundations, in particular their chairwoman, Mrs. de Carvalho Heineken and Mrs. Heineken Cummins. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted and honored to say a few words of thanks on this memorable occasion. I'm speaking on behalf of all year 2014 Heineken Prize laureates gathered here today. The prestigious Heineken Prizes, which go back 50 years, are renowned worldwide, and to be selected as the year 2014 winners makes us both proud and humble. For all of us, this is an overwhelming appreciation of our work. We wish to convey our sincere thanks to the Heineken Foundations for making these prizes available. The appreciation of arts and sciences by the Heineken family is a long-standing tradition. So 2 weeks ago, I was unpleasantly surprised when I read that a foreign brewing company wanted to buy Heineken. This would have been a serious loss to our Dutch natural heritage, a heritage of which many of us believe Heineken is part. Fortunately, the Heineken family were quick to state that such an acquisition will be very unlikely. Moreover, Mr. Heineken's commitment to the arts and sciences went above and beyond merely being a sponsor. It was a personal affair. I'm sure I speak for all 82 Heineken Prizes laureates when I say that I'm thrilled that his daughter, Mrs. Carvalho Heineken, has just expressed that the Heineken family still support his objectives and will continue to do so. This is important because events like this are not only very significant for the selected laureates, but even more so for the celebration of arts and sciences in general. We would also like to offer our sincere thanks to the Royal Netherlands Academy of Arts and Sciences for organizing the selection procedure. This is a serious and time-consuming task that involves a great deal of work for those nominating candidates and for expert juries. We are delighted to have been selected from a group of excellent candidates and thank the juries for their extraordinary honor bestowed upon us. The Heineken Prizes event is logistically complicated, as you have seen, and we like to thank all those involved in its organization. Specifically, I would like to mention Helena van Oers and Jolanda Pel of the Royal Academy, and Paulien Akkerman and Yvette Barahona of the Heineken Foundation, and Henk Visser and his team, who were responsible for the video presentations. In contrast to the old days, research is often performed nowadays by a team of technical staff, PhD students, postdocs, and more experienced scientists. In that respect, it is slightly odd that science prizes go to individuals rather than science groups. We would therefore like to express our gratitude to all of these people who played such an important role in our scientific career. This, of course, includes our mentors who played such a pivotal role when we just started. For some of us, 3 to 4 decades ago, for others, just recently. That brings me to the Heineken Young Scientist Awards. Compared with the Heineken Prizes, these are relatively new. This year, they have been awarded for the 3rd time. I very much applaud this development. It is vital to stimulate academic talent in the Netherlands at a time where economic gain seems to become the most important driver for boosting science. In my opinion, this short-sighted view negatively affects the academic climate in the Netherlands and makes it even more difficult for young scientists to choose an academic career, particularly in fields that have no direct connection to industry. To reward and celebrate outstanding academic talents who have chosen this career path is an excellent idea. Furthermore, these laureates are important role models for other young scientists in the Netherlands. In closing, we would like to thank our families, friends, colleagues, and all of you present. Thank you very much for adding even more luster to this memorable occasion.
Yes. On behalf of the laureates, we will have Jeffrey Parker address us now. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. 27 april 1967 is een dag die ik nooit zal vergeten. Ik was in Den Haag en had de hele dag archieven zitten doorspitten. Enigszins kwam ik van het buitenhof en zag toen dat aan de overkant van de hofvijver de bomen waren versierd met sinaasappels. Hoogst verbaasd vroeg ik een voorbijganger waarom dat was. Hij antwoordde, uiteraard in perfect Engels, "Today there is fruit on the tree of orange." En vandaag te vereer ons met uw aanwezigheid. Your Royal Highness, Your Excellency, members of the board of the Dr. HP Heineken Foundation and the Alfred Heineken Fonsen Foundation, and in particular their chair, Mrs. de Carvalho Heineken, esteemed laureates, fellow academicians, family and friends, ladies and gentlemen. I speak on behalf of all the 2012 Heineken laureates gathered here today to convey our heartfelt thanks for the extraordinary honour you have bestowed upon us. We thank in particular the Heineken Foundation and the KNRV, because without you this golden day for each of us would not have dawned. We also thank those who oversaw the logistics of our visits, Helena van Oers and the Academy team, Carla de Hart and the Foundation team, our Dutch colleagues who chaperoned us during our Heineken Week, and Henk Visser and his team, who compiled those marvelous film biographies. My only regret is that they were much too short. Finally, we thank the various juries who not only chose us when our discipline boasts so many talented candidates, but also conferred upon us the gift of longevity. Each nomination, each nominator had to guarantee that each of us had 10 years of productive life left in us. So, we will do our best to justify your confidence. But I used this newfound lease of life to do a little preliminary research on my colleagues and myself. Why are we so lucky? Why do we get the gift of longevity? I searched for common denominators. Now you've seen the film, I didn't know he was going to include that bit. I'm going to sound like Sir Dennis Brogan, but I won't put on the Scottish accent twice. Was it age that we had in common? No. One of us was born before World War II, I was born during it, and the rest were born between 1955 and 1957. Was it nationality? No. 3 of us are subjects of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, the other 3 were born here in the Netherlands. So was it academic formation? No. 2 of us studied at British universities and are fellows of the British Academy. 3 studied at Dutch universities and are fellows of the KNRV. 5 of us have studied or have taught in American universities, a remarkable testimony to the resilience of higher education in the United States. And then the critical similarity hit me. We're all teachers. We teach, therefore we are, as Descartes nearly said. Descartes was, of course, a resident in Amsterdam. He produced a child here, and then he went away. Through our teaching, we all learn that inspiration comes from continuously examining what we don't know. The Polish poet and Nobel laureate Wisława Szymborska said it best. If Marie Curie, also from Poland, had never said to herself, "I don't know," she probably would have ended up teaching chemistry at a private high school for young ladies from good families. But she kept on saying, "I don't know." And these words led her not once but twice to a Nobel Prize. And in this respect, poets, historians, artists, and scientists are all the same. We share a passion to create something that didn't previously exist, something that will have a life of its own, whether in nature or in human nature. Picasso once said that the most difficult task facing an artist was to turn a canvas, a blank canvas, into a picture. The same is true of writers. The hardest task is turning a blank sheet of paper into poetry or prose. And I imagine that the equivalent for scientists would be the transition from identifying a critical question to formulating a convincing way to test it, and then, of course, to find someone foolish enough to fund it. In all of our fields, the process of creation requires us not only to exploit what we do know, but to define what we don't know, to deploy not only what we discover, but also what we infer. And this process of creation is impatient. Here's a poem entitled Preparation, written by another distinguished Polish poet and Nobel laureate, Czesław Miłosz. Still one more year of preparation. Tomorrow at the latest, I'll start working on a great book in which my century will appear as it really was. Armies running across frozen plains, shouting a curse in a many-voiced chorus, the barrel of a tank growing immense at the corner of a street, the ride at dusk into a camp with watchtowers and barbed wire. No, it won't happen tomorrow. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, I still think too much about the mothers and ask, what is a man born of a woman? He curls himself up, he protects his head while he's kicked by heavy boots. On fire and running, he burns with a bright flame. A bulldozer sweeps him into a clay pit. No, not even Heineken laureates, despite our coveted guarantee of longevity, would be able to count on 5 or 10 years to complete the process of creation. Even tomorrow may be too late, because tomorrow some of the things we don't know may have become unknowable. Or else we, the creators, may be taken away on our own one-way ride at dusk. So I turn to you, young laureates, hiding in the gloom over there. Unfortunately, the same calculus is true for you. You have won this wonderful distinction. For you, it's just a start, as we say in the United States, way to go. But as you enjoy your well-earned success, please remember that whether you are poets, artists, scientists, or historians, you not only need to identify what you don't know and find out about it, you need to do it now. Please remember also, you'll never succeed alone. We didn't. Each of us here tonight owes our success to those who taught us, to those who paid for our education and our research, to those who shared their knowledge and their criticisms with us, and to those who've nurtured us with their love and support. And on behalf of the 2012 Heineken laureates, I therefore close by thanking our mentors, our colleagues, our students, our families, and especially those of you who sit before us now, including in my case, not the daughter who I crowed about, unfortunately she couldn't come, but 2 of my sons and my daughter-in-law here, several of my fearless critics and friends who've tried with mixed success to discipline me for 30, 40, and in one case nearly 50 years. Thank you all for adding even more luster to this golden day by coming here tonight to celebrate with us. Without you, none of us would be here today. Thank you all very, very, very much.